Okay, test. What kind of tree bark is this?
This is Lisa Live from the Tattooed Granny channel. Come with me to the forest today. We are going to identify the 3 top tree species that fruit morels. I want to say hello and thank you to my 100 subscribers. One of you requested this video, so today I'm going to get out there and make it for you.
Okay, we're on our way to probably the best morel mushroom fruiting species I know of, and that would be the freshly dead American elm tree. Morels have what's called a mycorrhizal relationship with this tree. They favor it. The underground living organism of the mushroom kind of coats and attaches to the roots of an elm tree in sort of a symbiotic kind of relationship. It expands the root surface area by doing so, letting the tree get more water and minerals, and in exchange the tree feeds the mycelium with a little starch sugar byproduct of photosynthesis. Cool, right? So here's the good part. When the tree dies from Dutch elm disease or other sickness, that mycelium underground's lost its sugar daddy. So it freaks out and puts up all these little morel fruiting bodies, morel mushrooms like you like to eat, all around the tree along the root lines. So you definitely want to look for freshly dead American elm trees, because in the first couple years, that's when you're going to get a mass explosion of mushrooms. And this to me looks like a freshly dead American elm. It's just starting to peel. Look at how the roots have that kind of fingery look. They have shallow roots. And when you go up to the top, you can kind of see it spreads out like a martini glass. The bark itself is kind of orange underneath. As they start to die, they might get an orange or a white cast to them. Up higher, which it's hard to see, he's got kind of a white cast and no buds. That means deceased. And this year, we might hit the jackpot. Here's a younger elm tree. Not as many little root fingers. Still nice. Now, it's probably in a silhouette and hard to see, but he's got buds all over him. So he is not going to produce morels this year. What's cool though, is they're one of the first trees to bud out, so you can tell if they're alive or dead if you walk the woods a week or two before the shrooms are up. Side note, black cherry tree, associated with all kinds of Morchella. Don't count him out. I'm going to call that just a bonus. Coming up here, we're coming to the ash trees. There's a bunch of them. They have, this is a white ash, I think. It's got a really unique X kind of bark. X shape. X, X, X. Right? And the branches come out at 90-degree angles to one another. Look at that. How cool is that? All the way up. So let's go over to another ash tree. And this one's forked, and we'll see the same type of deal as you go up the tree. Here's another white ash tree with all its markings, the bark, and the branches that go up at 90-degree angles. His leaves are kind of like this, like this. Now, let's see what else we can find. Some old American elm leaves. They've got kind of a little serrated edge to them. You see how big they are, not very big. But there's a bunch of them here because that's a living elm tree I'm next to. Okay, so when you're looking for mushrooms and you're not sure about your tree ID, double check for the leaves that I'm showing you. American elm leaf. Okay, Here's a grove of gigantic sycamores. They love the water. There's a creek right down there, and you'll get a lot of fruiting if the creek overflows before the spring and then recedes. Look at the size of this guy. He's a monster. Get a better idea of the bark with these big guys. See how white it is when they get older. Beautiful, beautiful old sycamore tree. Okay, seed pod. That's a sycamore tree seed pod. See that on the ground? See a big tree near a creek? You're on morels for sure. So, sycamore seed pods and leaves right there. See that on the ground? You know you got the correct tree. Thank you all for joining me. This is 𝐌𝐔𝐒𝐇𝐑𝐎𝐻𝐈 from the Tattooed Granny channel. Thanks again for subscribing to my 100 subscribers. When we get to 1,000, I'm going to do some kind of awesome giveaway. Maybe you'll accompany me on a foray. Maybe I'll give you some morel swag. Please share this. Share all my videos. And thank you for your support.